You hold on to the truth that I did not commit these crimes. My conscience is clear.
I was hoping for a little more remorse, regret, acknowledgement of some responsibility, and less preaching.
I'm not an advocate for or against use of force. Everything I did on that day was based on my training and experience.
Drive-by tasing? You know how to chase?
Can we do that? Yeah, I'm not going to chase him on foot. I don't need to chase him. My car will chase him, though. Go pick him up. He's me off.
You utilized your dirty, hairy tactics and used excessive force to arrest him. You betrayed your city. You caused your lovely wife heartache. And you caused Mr. Dent severe anguish.
Our first case takes us to Tyler, Texas, where what should have been a routine eviction turned into a criminal conspiracy that would bring down an entire constable's office. On January 26, 2021, Curtis Traylor Harris, the newly elected Smith County Precinct 1 constable, was serving his 26th day in office when he led a team to execute a writ of possession. Accompanying him were Chief Deputy LaQuenda Banks and Sergeant Derek Holman. What none of them realized was that Banks had accidentally activated her body camera, and it would capture everything that happened next. The footage showed the trio allegedly stealing items during the eviction, including watches, ammunition, cash valued between $750 and $2,500, Oakley and Ray-Ban sunglasses, makeup and a safe containing antique coins, a quarter collection, military medals, a diploma, a birth certificate, and a social security card. The most damaging testimony came from Banks herself, who revealed that Traylor Harris instructed her to take what you want, and made a zipping-unzipping motion to indicate concealing items in her uniform. She claimed she felt coerced, fearing termination if she didn't comply.
He was my boss, so, I'm going to do what he says do.
He testified because it was the right thing to do, because she wanted to make amends as much as possible for what she had done, without any plea deals. She is absolutely sorry for what she's done, and she's taken full responsibility.
The irony wasn't lost on investigators. The very technology meant to protect officers from false accusations had exposed their crimes. When the Texas Rangers launched their investigation in October 2021, all three were arrested. Traylor Harris was convicted of theft by a public servant in December 2022 and sentenced to 5 years probation and a $10,000 fine. His conviction meant automatic removal from office and the permanent loss of his peace officer license.
First, I'd like to publicly offer an apology to the Foster family. Actions of my deputies that day and the inaction of me to stop it from happening. I sincerely apologize to them for that. I worked my entire life to get here. I put myself through the academy twice, and it's just something I want to do my entire life. So, just the thought of it not being able to do it anymore, it's devastating, but I just want to be able to move on from it.
Banks pleaded guilty to misdemeanor official oppression and received 18 months probation, while Holman was surprisingly acquitted of theft charges. Our next case brings us to La Mesa, California, where a traffic stop during the height of the George Floyd protests would spark its own controversy. On May 27, 2020, Officer Matthew Diaz confronted Amory Johnson, a 23-year-old black man, near the Grossmont Transit Center during a trolley fare enforcement operation. What happened next was captured on multiple cameras and would go viral, but not for the reasons Diaz hoped. The incident showed Diaz pushing Johnson onto a concrete bench multiple times, leading to Johnson's arrest. But it wasn't the use of force that landed Diaz in legal trouble, it was what he wrote in his report afterward. Prosecutors charged that Diaz falsified his police report by claiming he approached Johnson for smoking in a prohibited area and for lacking a trolley fare in a fare-paid zone, when no smoking paraphernalia was found on Johnson, and the area wasn't actually a fare-paid zone. The case became even more problematic when Diaz claimed in his report that Johnson balled his fists, took a bladed stance, and struck him on the arm during the encounter, claims that video evidence didn't support. The timing couldn't have been worse. Occurring just 2 days after George Floyd's death, the viral video fueled protests and riots in La Mesa.
He was putting his hands around my neck, he was grabbing me, just putting his hands on me.
Diaz was fired in August 2020 but was criminally charged in January 2021 with filing a false police report, a felony carrying up to 3 years in prison. However, in a surprising turn, a jury acquitted him in December 2021 after deliberating for about a day and a half.
We, the jury in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Matthew James Davis, not guilty of the crime. This case shows us that even if your constitutional rights are being violated, it's okay if law enforcement is doing it.
Despite the acquittal, Diaz remained fired, and his attempts to get his job back were unsuccessful, with courts ruling the termination was supported by evidence of false statements and discourteous conduct. Sometimes the most shocking police misconduct comes with its own soundtrack. In Willis, Texas, officers Kenneth Elmore and John McCaffrey were responding to a domestic disturbance call on July 29, 2017, when they encountered Kedrick Kizzy at his grandmother's home. What started as a routine call would end with both officers behind bars, thanks to their own body cameras and some particularly damning audio. The officers asked Kizzy to leave the premises and go to a nearby park, despite having no legal basis for eviction since he lived there. When they discovered Kizzy had outstanding warrants for 3 misdemeanors, they pursued him as he walked away. But here's where it gets truly bizarre. Body cam footage captured McCaffrey joking about a drive-by tossing.
Drive-by tasing? You know how to chase?
Can we do that? Yeah, I'm not going to chase him on foot. I don't need to chase him. My car will chase him, though. Go pick him up. He's me off.
And the officers, without activating lights or sirens, chased Kizzy in their patrol vehicles and tossed him from inside their cars. The officers then arrested Kizzy for evading arrest, a charge he couldn't have committed since they never told him he was under arrest or asked him to stop. But the real crime came in the cover-up. To hide their misconduct, Elmore and McCaffrey falsified official documents, including the arrest report, incident report, and use of force report, claiming Kizzy was told to comply multiple times before the tossing, which the body cam footage contradicted. In August 2019, both officers were convicted of 2 counts each of tampering with a governmental record and sentenced to 1 year in the Montgomery County Jail. The symbolic nature of their sentences wasn't lost on anyone. It matched exactly the potential jail time Kizzy faced for the false charge. Their felony convictions meant they had to surrender their Texas peace officer licenses, permanently ending their law enforcement careers. Perhaps no case better illustrates the terrifying abuse of police power than that of former Jackson County Sheriff's Deputy Zachary Wester. Between 2016 and 2018, Wester systematically planted drugs on innocent motorists during traffic stops, leading to false arrests and devastating consequences for his victims. Wester's modus operandi was chillingly calculated. He would target motorists during traffic stops, often claiming to smell marijuana as a pretext to search their vehicles, then plant methamphetamine, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia. In many instances he turned off his body camera during critical moments, but sometimes the cameras kept rolling, capturing his crimes.
Possession of methamphetamine, okay? So you are going to jail today for possession of methamphetamine because it was on your side of the vehicle. What? Constable.
Come on, man. Please.
I don't have much discretion with a felony charge, buddy. I don't have much discretion with that, man.
The most damning evidence came from a traffic stop involving Teresa Odom, where body camera footage showed Wester palming methamphetamine before searching her vehicle. The impact on victims was devastating. Teresa Odom reported losing credibility and missing significant time with her grandchild due to her arrest, while Benjamin Bowling lost custody of his daughter as a result of his arrest.
You've robbed me of my credibility being a mother and a grandmother for the last 3 years. I've probably missed 1.5 years of my grandbaby's life because of this. I wish you no ill will, and you'll never know what you've done to me until you have children of your own, so.
When investigators searched Wester's patrol vehicle in 2018, they found 42 items of drug paraphernalia, 10 separately packaged quantities of methamphetamine, and 5 items of marijuana. In May 2021 he was convicted on 19 of 67 charges and sentenced to 12 years, 6 months and 8 days in prison. His actions led to the dismissal of approximately 120 cases, highlighting the systemic damage one corrupt officer can cause. Sometimes a single viral video can change everything. On August 12, 2017, Euclid police officer Michael Amiot's violent traffic stop of Richard Hubbard III, a black motorist, was captured on cell phone video and went viral. The video showed a disturbing pattern of excessive force that would eventually land Amiot in court. The footage revealed Amiot repeatedly punching and kicking Hubbard during the traffic stop, wrestling him to the ground within seconds of ordering him to face away after Hubbard exited the vehicle. Hubbard testified that he believed he was racially profiled and that he didn't resist or touch the officer, contradicting Amiot's claims.
My name is Richard Hubbard, and I appreciate the jury and the court for making the right decision. What Amiot did to me was wrong. he should receive the maximum sentences today. You know, I'm still going through like the suffering with the anxiety, you know, driving, just the temperament, the trauma, and everything. Just a cause for this case. I'm ready to get it over it actually, but
The case took an unusual path to prosecution. After the local prosecutor initially declined to file charges, 7 Euclid citizens used Ohio law to petition a judge to arrest Amiot. This citizen action eventually led to criminal charges being filed in August 2019. In July 2022, after a week-long trial, a jury found Amiot guilty of 1 count of misdemeanor assault and 1 count of interfering with civil rights. He was sentenced to a 90-day suspended jail sentence, 1 year of probation, and a $1,000 fine.
Just need to be able to control folk, no doubt about that. There must be control. But there's a limit to how that's done.
I'm not an advocate for or against use of force. Everything I did on that day was based on my training and experience.
However, in April 2024, an appellate court vacated the conviction due to speedy trial violations, meaning Amiot faced no criminal penalties. Not all police crimes happen on the job. Leonard Golly, a 55-year-old former Exeter Borough Police Department sergeant with nearly 32 years of service, thought he was meeting a 15-year-old boy for sex in August 2020. Instead, he walked into a sting operation that would end his career and freedom. Using the alias Paul on the dating app Grindr, Golly contacted what he believed was a 15-year-old boy, expressing explicit interest in sexual contact even after being informed of the profile's underage status. He arranged to meet at a Turkey Hill convenience store in Plains Township for sexual activity. The boy was actually an undercover profile operated by Mesa Harris, who operates under the moniker Luzerne County Predator Catcher. When Golly arrived at the store, Harris confronted him in the parking lot.
Hey, what's going on? What you here for? How you doing? What's your name? Paul. Paul? Yeah. What you right here for? What's that? What you right here for, Paul? Me? Yeah. I'm here to meet some of my friends. Here to meet your friends? Yeah, I'm here to get I'm here to get Turkey Hill iced tea. Some cash. Why? Oh, don't keep your hands where I can see them. Who are you?
Golly denied any intent to meet a minor, claiming he was there to meet friends and buy iced tea before fleeing the scene.
Who are you? Listen, I'm out here. I know what you're right here to do. I'm not here to do nothing. Listen, I'm here to get a Turkey Hill iced tea. You hit up one of my decoys already. No. Listen, buddy, you got the wrong guy. Buddy, Paul? No. My name's not Paul. You just said Paul. No. You just said your name Paul. My name's not Paul. You got the wrong guy, buddy. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, what's good, man? What's up? What's up? There's another one right here. You're not playing no homie game with me.
But the damage was done. Harris posted video of the confrontation and screenshots of the explicit chat logs on social media, leading to Golly's identification and arrest. In December 2022, Golly pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts: criminal attempt to commit statutory sexual assault and criminal attempt to commit unlawful contact with a minor. On March 27, 2023, he was sentenced to 12 months minus 1 day to 24 months minus 2 days in the Luzerne County Correctional Facility, followed by 5 years of probation and lifetime registration as a sex offender. The conviction also prohibited him from coaching, training, or interacting with minors, directly impacting his martial arts studio business. Sometimes the most damning evidence isn't what an officer does, but what they don't do. On May 25, 2020, Minneapolis police officer Tu Tao stood guard while Derek Chauvin knelt on George Floyd's neck for over 9 minutes. His role in one of the most infamous police killings in American history would make him a symbol of police complicity and indifference. While Chauvin, J. Alexander Quang, and Thomas Lane restrained Floyd, Tao's job was crowd control, preventing concerned bystanders, including an off-duty firefighter trained as an EMT, from intervening to help Floyd. Despite Floyd's pleas that he couldn't breathe and his eventual unconsciousness, Tao never intervened to stop the excessive force or provide medical aid.
A self-described human traffic cone. He also prevented others from rendering aid.
Judge Peter Cahill found that Tao's actions were objectively unreasonable for a police officer, noting that his duty was to intervene and render medical aid given his training and experience. Cahill determined that Tao's actions enabled the other officers to continue the restraint that led to Floyd's death.
You hold on to the truth that I did not commit these crimes. My conscience is clear.
Tao faced both federal and state charges. In the federal case, he was sentenced to 42 months for violating Floyd's civil rights. In the state case, after being found guilty of aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter, He was sentenced to 57 months, the maximum within guidelines. Judge Cahill noted Tao's lack of remorse, saying, "After 3 years of reflection, I was hoping for a little more remorse, regret, acknowledgement of some responsibility, and less preaching."
I was hoping for a little more remorse, regret, acknowledgement of some responsibility, and less preaching.
Our final case takes us to Inkster, Michigan, where a routine traffic stop became a savage beating that would end the career of an officer nicknamed RoboCop. On January 28, 2015, Officer William Melendez pulled over Floyd Dent, a 58-year-old African-American motorist, for failing to stop at a stop sign. What happened next was captured on police dashcam and would shock the nation. The footage showed Melendez punching Dent 16 times in the head within 10 seconds after pulling him from his vehicle. Dent testified that Melendez also choked him, causing him to lose consciousness. Dent suffered severe injuries, including broken ribs and blood on the brain, requiring hospitalization. The case became even more controversial when it emerged that police initially claimed Dent had cocaine in his vehicle, but a blood test was negative, and all charges against Dent were dropped. Adding to the scandal, a text message Melendez sent to his partner after the incident read, "At least give me the satisfaction of knowing you're out there beating up right now," revealing racial animus.
You utilized your dirty, hairy tactics and used excessive force to arrest him. You betrayed your city. You caused your lovely wife heartache. And you caused Mr. Dent severe anguish.
In November 2015, Melendez was convicted of assault with intent to do great bodily harm and misconduct in office. Judge Vonda Evans sentenced him to 13 months to 10 years in prison, describing his actions as cowardly acts of barbaric behavior and criticizing his dirty, hairy tactics.
I'm going to commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections as to count one for no less than 13 months, no more than 10 years. As to count two, I'm going to give you 90 days credit for time served and closing.
To Mr. Dent and his family, I am truly sorry if this has caused undue hardships in your personal life. And if you have any animosity towards law enforcement, that was not my intention.
The things he done, I felt kind of bad, when he spoke. So, I think it was pretty reasonable.
Do you forgive him?
Yes, I've been forgiven.
Melendez was released in January 2017 after serving 14 months and was barred from working in law enforcement. These 8 cases represent just a fraction of the police misconduct captured on camera in recent years. From theft and assault to drug planting and civil rights violations, these officers betrayed the public trust in the most fundamental ways. What's particularly striking is how often it was the officers' own equipment, body cameras and dash cams meant to protect them from false accusations, that provided the evidence for their convictions.